And fight endlessly on the supposition that there are good guys and bad guys. And when we fight on that supposition, there is no possibility of compromise or of gentleman's agreement, as there is honor among thieves. We're all thieves. Let's face it, face it, face it, face it, face it, face it.
Recently, I've been on the hunt for some Nikkor prime lenses. For running gun shooting, don't get me wrong, I do love using my zooms, but there's just something about using a prime, especially a vintage prime, that just gives your footage a certain look, a certain character. I've had an itch to get these set of primes for a while now. I didn't really care if they were AIS or pre-AIS. I just want to make sure that they were at least f2.8 and that they had little to no fungus inside of them. If you really got the time for it, you can pick up one of these lenses with fungus in it for very, very cheap, but you will have to basically take it all apart and clean the glass. Altogether, I spent around $325 for this entire set of lenses. Now that includes a 24mm f2.8, a 35mm f2.8, a 55mm f2.8, an 85mm f1.8, and then a 105mm f2.5, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Now, if I were doing more of a run and gun shoot with these lenses, I'd probably only bring the 24, 55, and the 85. I don't have anything else against the rest of these lenses. Those are just the focal lengths that I like to use. Disclaimer before I go any further, this is not a scientific test. This is just me running around with the camera getting some shots for this video. That being said, I did notice when I'm using these lenses with this Viltrox speed booster, there tends to be what I can only describe as a bright spot in the middle of the image that it kind of looks weird, but at the same time it adds like swirly bokeh. So I mean, I don't really know. I really don't know what to say about that. Now, if you have the Metabone speed booster, this will not be an issue. It will not be a bright spot in the middle of your image that causes swirly bokeh. You won't have to worry about that. And if you're not running a speed booster at all, then that won't be an issue. I've only had these lenses for about 2 or 3 weeks, but I plan on making a follow-up video after I get more footage with them. Now, my favorite lenses out of all of these is the 35 and the 85. The 35mm for me is a nice focal length between the 24 and the 55. And the 85mm is just an amazing portrait lens. So of course, when you shoot video with it, it's gonna have amazing background separation, and it's pretty sharp at 2.8. Now, I've tried to use the 85mm at f1.8, but for me, it's way too milky, and I might have to do something with the Viltrox speed booster, but when I stop it down to f2.8, it looks way better, so that's what I shoot it at. I plan on getting much more footage with these lenses in the next couple of weeks. I also plan on getting them serviced. I'm eventually going to get 3D printed follow focus rings for them, and I will give them all step-up rings to my matte box. I know this video is all over the place. I mainly just wanted to get something out so you guys know that I was working on something. And currently I'm in the process of writing my next video, so that should be out in a couple weeks. So what do you guys think about my set of vintage lenses, and what would you use them for? Do you have your own set of vintage prime lenses? Do you have the Helios 40-42? And what kind of footage do you guys want to see me shoot with these? Let me know in the comments below.